The king in the north! The king in the north!
Yo, as always, like, share, subscribe. Now let's just get into it. So I wanted to do a video, and somebody said I should do a video on Cade transferring, and honestly, it was a good idea because from where Michigan was and where they are now, it was just such a drastic change of culture. And from the moment Cade got in the game, what was that, 2020 Rutgers, he always had that fight about him because he had to fight to get where he is in high school, everything. He's always had to fight to earn his spot. So he had that winning type of culture that can help change a program. He was part of that, a big part of it. And when he entered the transfer portal, you saw a lot of the players like Sainer still and some of the other guys, Moody, I believe, just wishing him well and thanking him and saying that he was a part of that culture change, because a lot of those guys that came in 2019, 2020, even 2021 with like JJ and Donovan, a lot of those guys wanted to change Michigan's culture. And of course you can talk about it or whatever, but they actually did it. I mean, they didn't do it by themselves. The coaches, the players, it was hardball. It was a total thing. But you can't have one without the other. And Cade was a big part of that. And he got the monkey off our back. The biggest thing that we needed to do, which was get that win at Ohio State. And of course, Haskins and Corum and all of them did their thing. But Cade did his thing. When he needed to make a throw, he made it. So, yeah, shout out to Cade. I wish him well, honestly. And dude was a leader, and he just went out and did his job. And you could tell, like, I think I posted the Penn State video. I don't know if it's still up on my page because of copyrights, but you could just see the passion and the togetherness of this team when they got that win over Penn State last year. I think he was about to start crying, or maybe did cry in the post-game interview. You could just tell how much this Michigan meant to him and how much he wanted to help change that culture, and he did that. So regardless of whatever he does, he's going to hold a place in Michigan fans' heart for sure, and he should. Like he deserves his respect just because JJ took his job. That's just sports. But as far as him as a leader and what he did for the program, it's almost unmatched. But unless you're talking about somebody like Aiden, but you know, he was part of that team. They're all part of a team. It's a brotherhood. And Cade was a big part of that. So shout out to that man. Now, I also asked y'all to drop questions. So let's just get into it. First question, appreciate the comment from AJ Southward. He says, do you think Blake Corum will be ready to go by playoff time? Honestly, yeah, I think he will be ready, but I think for his injury, he has to take it easy. And for somebody like him, that's not how he's wired. They say they had to lock the doors just to keep him from going to work out before the weight room is supposed to be before they're allowed to go work out. You know, they got stipulations for college and stuff like that on how many hours they can do certain stuff. So he's just he's a workhorse on the field and off. So the thing about them, they're going to have to get him to just calm down for a while so his body can heal. A dude like him, he's probably trying to still work out and probably still trying to get out there, chomping at the bit, trying to still get work in when his body needs the rest. So if he takes the time and rests, I think he should be right. If not, he may need to have surgery or something. I know I don't want to say that, but I'm just being honest. If he takes a month off and that knee isn't ready, I mean, from here to the bowl game, it's about a month. So if he takes a month off and that knee still isn't ready, he may have. They say there's nothing structural, but that's a long time to still not be able to go. But I'm expecting him to be able to play. I just give you both sides. So let's see. Wayne Woodard, appreciate the comment. He says, would you... Oh, that's the comment about the Cade. Cool Moa said, is anyone mentioning the reason why the passing game worked is because they were forced to run a spread? I mean, that's part of the reason, somewhat, I guess you could say. But the main big reason why the pass game worked was because Ohio State was dumb enough to run zero coverage. I've been watching guys break down that game over and over in different types of ways. And so there was zero coverage or man for 13 plays. But it just so happens we scored, I think we got 3 touchdowns on that. I think we got 3 touchdowns on 3 touchdowns out of those 13 plays. So I don't care how you say, well, we didn't play it that much. Well, you played it enough to get burnt 3 touchdowns. You messed up. So that's just like Don Brown. That's just like Don Brown. I remember the Penn State game with with Hamler. And we're playing good, and then he wants to do something crazy, man blitz or have a safety on Hamler, and touchdown. It don't matter how many times you do it. If you do it and you get burnt, you messed up. So that's part of the big thing. We burnt them when they were dumb enough to run that man zero coverage, no safety over the top or one safety high. We burnt them when they did that. So that was just a big part of it. Let's see. Grayville Dude says, if Michigan loses this Saturday, do we still get into the college football playoff? Does Ohio State go in front of us if all the other top 4 teams win? I'm not sure about the second part of that, but if we lose, we're in. If we lose, we're in. The only way we wouldn't get in is if we just got drugged like 35-0 or something like that, where we look like, okay, Michigan's horrible. That's the only way. But we still might get in then because Michigan is undefeated. We already have 12 wins. Ohio State, they can't get 12 wins right now. Alabama, they can't get 12 wins. So Michigan already has 12 wins, 12-0, has beaten 2 top 10 teams. Michigan is in. If we were to lose and we lost 30-30, if we lost 20-35, we're getting in. We're just getting in. We've done all the hard work, and then Ohio State being 5 makes it even better. You gonna put Ohio State over us and we mollywopped them? This don't make sense. So that's it. Michigan's getting in unless they just get destroyed somehow. Ohio State is not getting in front of us. It just wouldn't make any sense. We dominated them and they were at home. So it's just, like I said, that the only way something like that happens if Purdue just destroys us. And that's just not likely to happen. Like, let's not even think about that somehow happening. Appreciate the comment, A6. He says, they're legit saying that Trey Henderson is transferring, and what better place for a running back than UM? You think Harbaugh would take him? I guess it depends. I think he would take him if Blake went to the NFL. I think he would take him. You know what I'm saying? If he could get in. I mean, if he buys into Michigan's culture, because you don't want to bring in somebody that's just trying to give it back to Ohio State or whatever. He would have to really want to embrace Michigan, and I want to be here, not I'm going to show Ohio State and I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? That could be part of it, but you would really have to embrace the culture of Michigan. Like, I want to be here. I see how your backs get to show off their talents game after game after game after game. I want to come here and play for you, Coach Harbaugh. I want to be a part of this. I've been at Ohio State jealous of what your back's been doing the last couple years, and I want some of that. Can I get some of that, Coach? So, you know what I'm saying? If he comes like something like that, I think he would, but right now it's just speculation. You know what I'm saying? It don't bother me. It don't bother me because these players, they come and they go. They transfer, they come back. If he can help the team win and he buys into the culture and doesn't mess it up, it don't bother me. And I don't think it would bother Harbaugh either. That's if he buys all the way into the culture and what's going on in Michigan. Let's see. Arnett Mosley said, "Who created that art?" That's a picture of the turnover buffs. You know, when they get a turnover, they take a sideline pick, and then I took the picture and good question. I took the picture and I used a cartoon app to make it look like that. But I'm trying to design a shirt that for the You Get Nothing t-shirts. So I'm trying to find a way to get, I wanted to use the regular picture. I'm trying to find a way to get around the copyright. But I might just make the shirt and then y'all just hit me up and I'll send it to you or something. Y'all cash at me or something and I'll send it to you. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do it. But that picture is what I want to use for the shirt. And I might just buy one and see how it looks. Because we got to be fresh. I can't just be getting no cheap shirts and then asking y'all to buy them or y'all wearing some stuff you got from me and it ain't fresh. We got to be fresh out here and it got to look good because that's just how I get down. If I'm going to make a shirt and people are buying it, it got to be fresh. You feel me? So that's just that. Tropical Banana says, would you want OSU to make the playoffs for sake of another conference team in and a chance to beat them twice in one season, or would you rather just see them posted up at home with a bag of popcorn? I've been thinking about that a lot today, and I don't care about the conference. When we're in, I don't care if another conference team is in. Like I really don't, because we're in the playoffs, so it's about us winning that chip. It's time to win that chip. And I ain't rooting for nobody else. It's time. We done had enough years of rooting for other teams. Oh, Ohio State's in there. Michigan State's in there. No, it's our turn. So that's what I'm worried about. But let's say they did get in, which would bother me. And I got two mindsets. The first is they could have the chance to pay us back and beat us in the playoff and, still go after a national championship, which would hurt because normally if you lose the game, it douses your national championship hopes. So that would make me mad. But as I was thinking today, like, Corum should be healthy by then. So the team that they played, Corum and Mike Morris. So the team that they played last week, it's going to be a different team because you didn't see Blake. So we can go with almost a total different game plan because a healthy Blake, you know how we get down. We'll grind you out and get those consistent, steady drives. It doesn't have to be all big plays. We can grind you out, and then Donovan comes in or whoever gets it late in the game and it breaks open. So I was thinking like, we might be able to smack these boys twice. 2 times in 1 year. Ryan Day, kiss your job goodbye. Kiss it goodbye. If you should have been hoping you didn't make the playoff. Now we finna get you fired, player. But then I got the other side of me that all those years we had to watch them in the playoff and stuff like that. I want them at home. I want them at home stewing and steaming at the fact that Michigan is in the playoff. Regardless of if we win, lose, whatever, we won and got the right to be in the playoff. Y'all sit at home and stew and feel bad and wonder what's the future holds for your team. Whatever happens, guess what? We beat y'all to get in that position. So ain't no Georgia beat you or any of that or whatever. It don't matter. We beat y'all. And that's why we got in, because we beat y'all. You see how that works? So that's my other feeling about them in this playoff scenario. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, and then if we do mess around and win the first round and then make the championship, they're going to be steaming. And if we win it, it's over for them. What can they say? Not only will we have beaten them, but we win a championship too? We're talking trash for years to come. Because then we can say we got the most recent championship. Then they're going to have to go back to the past like they've been doing, talking about the past. Well, we've been winning consistently. When was our last championship? Then we can say that. So you know what I'm saying? So that's just how I feel about them. I got different sides, but I really want them at home watching. I don't want them in the playoffs getting some hope. No, I want y'all at home understanding you lose that game, that's where you're going to be. You're going to be at home watching the playoffs, playing a meaningless game until the playoff is expanded. But until then, get used to it. Sitting at home watching the playoff. Yeah. So that's what I got. I just went over the comments. I might post this again tomorrow to see who comments. But that's what I got for this one, y'all. As far as the playoff, I guess I can touch on that real quick. As far as the playoff, Michigan and Georgia are pretty much in. Well, Georgia, Michigan, they're pretty much in. We can lose and probably still get in as long as it's not a blowout. We don't get blown out. TCU is most likely also in because their strength of schedule is good and they're 12-0. They're playing an extra game like we are. The undefeated teams are pretty much in unless they just have a horrible showing. So OSU's only real hope to get in is if USC loses. And it's just not likely that they'll lose because it's so hard to beat a good team twice in the same year. It's just hard to do. Like, you just really have to be better than them. And Utah isn't that much better. They snuck out against USC the first game. So, in the way Caleb Williams is feeling himself right now, boy, I wouldn't, honestly, I don't, he worries me. The way he runs around and moves, the way he runs around and manipulates the pocket and trusts his arm, he's doing things that you see Patrick Mahomes do. The way he manipulates that pocket, it's starting to be a thing of beauty watching him do some of that stuff. Just real talk. You know when I see somebody that's starting to get to that level, I'm just a fan of football, so I start becoming a fan of what they're doing. Like Joe Burrow. I tried to, halfway through that year, I said, this dude is doing something special. I was a Joe Burrow fan. About halfway through that year, I'm like, this dude is doing something special. I don't know if anybody notices yet, but this dude is awesome. This dude is awesome. You feel me? So that's how I get. When I see somebody and I start noticing like, this guy is special, and then I start to become a fan of them because I just love the game. But yeah, so that's what's going on with the playoff, and Caleb Williams he's becoming that dude before our eyes. So we'll see how that goes if we have to face them. But them in Utah, I doubt if Utah beats them again, but we never know. They might take them out again, and then Ohio State gets that bump up. But as far as Ohio State, I don't think Ohio State's going to do much because let's say USC loses. Ohio State's in. Georgia's going to be number one. The thing about Georgia is, and this is also a problem, Georgia plays like Michigan, except with more talent, and they're probably more physical than we are on defense because they come with pop. We just tackle. They're physical tacklers. So the thing about Georgia is they have as much talent as Ohio State or more. So that hurts Jim Knowles' style of defense. I try to break this down to people, they don't be listening. It's similar to Don Brown, and you can see it. You can see it in the games this year. Every time they played a team with with similar talent level, the defense got shredded. It's not hard to see. They played Maryland. What happened? Maryland almost beat them. Put up like 30-something on the defense. Tua Louis, baby Tua, shredding them. Penn State, Sean Clifford, he turned it over, three times, I think, but he was shredding them. Penn State has talent. Maryland has talent at receiver and a good quarterback. So Michigan has talent. So you're going up against Georgia. Georgia has the talent to expose that defense. It's just like Don Brown. He plays somebody with decent talent, as much talent as Michigan or close, there's problems. And if they got better talent, you're going to get destroyed. But on offense, I hate to say it again, Michigan gave the blueprint to slow Ohio State down. And what's funny is Ohio State fans, they still don't seem to understand. We held you to 27 last year. We held you to 23 this year. We know how to slow you down. It ain't rocket science. So if you're a smart defensive coordinator, like Notre Dame was, like Penn State was, like Iowa was for most of the game. I mean, Iowa does what they do, but you're going to take Michigan's game plan on defense and you're going to implement it. And a team like Georgia, they got the talent everywhere. They got enough talent to implement it and probably do better than we did with it. If Ohio State played Georgia, I get them 20 points, maybe 17. That's just what I'm saying. If they got in, that's just what I'm saying. Because the blueprint is right there. You can look at two games and see it. You can also look at the Notre Dame game. They used our game plan. So the film is right there. You'd be an idiot to not go watch it. Like, what was Michigan doing to slow these guys down? Oh, okay. Okay. So that's just what I feel about it. I feel like if OSU played Georgia, it'd probably be similar to our score. What was it, 45-23? I say 38-17 or 38-20. That's just how I feel about it, because the things that they do, it can be exposed. It's on film. It's on film. This stuff isn't hiding away somewhere. Especially if you're smart. You go watch Michigan play Ohio State the last 2 years. Boom. You take the best offense and you turn them into a mediocre offense. You got 2 games to watch that film. You'd be an idiot to not break it down and implement it, because it ain't that hard. Just leaving guys over the top most of the time. Blitzing sparingly. Tight man defense. Blitz here and there. Drop zone here and there. Stop the run. Tackle well. Ball game. Go from 45 to 20 something. So that's just how I feel about it. Just threw that in just cause. I just threw that one in that was a freebie. But that's all I got for this one, y'all. I just wanted to touch on Cade, how much he meant to the game, or to the team, the Michigan culture, and getting it back where we should be. in the playoff going for a championship. He helped build that foundation. Can't do nothing but appreciate him. Regardless of how it played out with him and JJ, that's just sports. But shout out to that brother Cade, because he really wanted to change the culture, and he did. So that's all I got for this one, y'all. Like, share, subscribe, and as always, go blue.
It's great to be